to Scholar Social. I am Jonah Ruffin.
I'm Jayla Jackson.
I'm Dea Brown.
I'm Sanaa Edwards.
And I'm Zayla Bryant.
And how are y'all feeling today?
I'm excited.
I'm
pumped.
I mean, I'm living.
Yeah, surviving.
I'm
definitely.
surviving. Yes, that's.
Well, I think that today's podcast is definitely gonna be something different.
Yes.
It's gonna be a different vibe, because all in all, self-reflection always needs to happen.
Yes.
Especially as intellectuals.
Right, especially as intellectuals, it's very important that it happens as well. you know?
Yes. Because I think it's a barrier of that self-reflection to honestly get over certain humps. Because I think certain things kind of hold us back because we're scared of some of our potential per se. But hey, who's ready to talk about it? I'm curious to see what y'all actually need help with, and how we can help you, kind of find a solvency out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can go first because I think the main thing that and this has been my struggle for years, literally, is what Dea just said. I'm scared of my greatness. And it's not to the point where it's not as much as it used to be. I've now gotten to a point where, scared or not, I get it done. But before, it used to literally hinder me from doing projects.
Right.
It stopped me from doing the whole project. And now that I'm getting stuff done and I'm moving, that doesn't stop the fear. I'm literally, I'm terrified of, because as a writer, and I think you can attest to this, as a poet, really having your work out there, displayed
publicly,
humans can be really cruel people sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm scared of criticism. You can say whatever you want to say. It doesn't make my art any less than, what I know it is. But it's just so dear to me. Mm-hmm. And I feel like putting it out in the world or monetizing off of what has been my escape from reality for so many years, I'm scared that I might lose my love for it if I make this my job.
Mm-hmm. That's so different from what we normally hear, because I thought you were going to say you have a fear of reaching your fullest potential or being the greatest you can be, in the sense that if you fail in front of everyone. Mm-hmm. But this, because it's so nuanced, and that's the thing about you. You never do anything expected. And I think that if you keep following the trail that you're on, honestly, I can't predict what comes next for you. And I think that's amazing. Because as a person that's sitting here waiting, I've read maybe 2 or 3 pieces of your work, but I still don't know who Jayla Jackson is. And you don't know who she is completely yet either, because you still have life to live. So I think that there isn't ever going to be a point where your life will become so ready to put out into the world. Your life is not for the world to see. It's what you decide to put out there. So just if you find pieces to be precious and dear to your heart, don't let those ones go. But be open to letting the possibility of your work help or heal or provide a new perspective for somebody else.
Honestly, I tell you this all the time. This is your moment. And, I don't want you to, look back and say, hey, I missed my moment, because no, Zayla's right. Anything you do is unexpected. And I think you have to really love that. And to your point about you falling out of love with your art, I don't think that would never happen, because the connection that you have with poetry, the connection that you have with language, the connection that you have with anything in terms of literature is so deep. It's it does not define you, but it's a part of you. You feel me? And so I think that love is unbreakable. It's a soul connection that you have to lean towards in this case. So that's my advice. And, I want to hear more, because I'm actually curious in your train of thought about this.
Along with what Day said, and I'll pass it on to you, I think you also have, since this is a part of you, this is what you eat, sleep, breathe, you do this without even thinking. You're just that good. You are that. But I think when you're talking about humans can be brutal, since this is a part of you, since this is you, of course you're going to be open to constructive criticism because that's just the person you are. You want to be the best. You want to be the better. But you should not let the hate or the brutalness of people who are just looking for a way to put you down because you are successful and you're making moves and you're following your passion and still being great. Tear something that's a part of you away from you, because I feel like if you had that part removed from you, you would never be yourself again. No matter what you try to fill in that space, it would never be Jayla Jackson.
Yeah. Jayla Jackson is freaking poetry. Like, I don't know what you're not understanding here, but literally, your art is beautiful. It's like Jayla said, this can honestly help someone else. This can help another girl, because we talk about this all the time. This can help another Black girl out here who's waiting to showcase her art but doesn't know how to, or doesn't know, like, have the inspiration to do so. I think this is an actual inspiration for that girl, to give her that extra push.
Right.
You understand that? I need you to understand that. Like, you're about to make a good impact on this great society we have here.
Did you have something to say?
Yeah, okay, so I think that it's definitely, it's understandable, and I understand that because, you know, it's so, like, even, for instance, y'all know, like, I love her, but I'm going to bring her up, but for Summer Walker, like, she's been criticized so much in the media that she's starting to lose her passion for, like, music, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, she's gone through so much hate that she wasn't really expecting or ready for, so therefore she's lost the passion for music. And I think that's normal. Like, to be nervous of what's to come it's obviously normal, because, like you said, society's harsh, and you never know how they're going to take it. You never know how they're going to take your art. So I think that the best advice I can give you is, as long as you stay in it for you and not trying to please anybody else, and you realize and you acknowledge that this is for you. You are only putting it out to inspire others. You are not putting it out to get criticism from others. You are not putting it out to have others' opinion on it. You're only putting it out to inspire and to help another person. So I think that as long as you keep it up and you stay in it for you, you'll never lose your passion.
Yeah, and look, okay, we are kind of like putting this idea of inspiration and helping into your mind. Why are you releasing your work?
Why?
Yeah.
And what?
Yeah.
Why would you?
What is the purpose?
Wait.
Why
and also
Before that, let's talk about her releasing it.
Yeah, let's talk about you.
Let's talk about the releasing of it.
When is it coming?
When is it coming?
Dropping? Where can I
Because
find
if y'all did not know, Miss Girl is a poet. She's a poet.
If you didn't
Not
know.
only a poet, but
If
a
you didn't know
writer,
already,
an author. Go ahead.
She's all that I.
I have a poetry album dropping soon, May 12th. It's called Pages Like Knives. And it's going to be very interesting, hopefully.
Very interesting.
I think that people will enjoy it. But to answer the question on the table, honestly, and I don't know how many times I've said this on the podcast now, but I'm spiritual, right? And I do believe in God.
You have to know a lot. I'm dead.
Okay, so I just want you to know I'm spiritual, and I do believe in God. And a lot of times I don't really have a particular reason why, but I feel it in my gut, and my gut has never, failed me, not once. Like I have a feeling about something, I'll do it anyway just to test it out because I'd be bored. But
I'd be bored.
Wow.
But in my gut, I feel it. Like I know this is gonna work out. This isn't. This is probably gonna have a negative impact. This, it'll be whatever it is. I can feel it, and so I know that even though there's fear about me putting out my artwork, there's I don't know. It's just I have a feeling that it's gonna do something for somebody. For it's gonna lend to a bigger cause, and I also feel in my gut that the work that I am doing, the topics that I am discussing and what I'm suggesting for people to do in my poetry album calls for me to be a hands-on activist.
Yeah.
So
people who do that line of work, and I don't want to give too much, but I explained that in the poetry album that people who do that line of work, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Look at MLK. Look at Malcolm X.
I like that.
I'm sorry.
Both
Yeah.
assassinated.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Oh, whoa, wait, not
But-
yes to the assassination.
No, but
Right,
I
but-
was
but-
about
Not
But you see
assassination,
but
but
I see
to
the-
see the route that activists go
Right.
on is not
To
is
see
not
the
a
So
impact.
as a young black activist, there's a fear. Like we are literally living in a country where we watch our people get gunned down every day.
Right.
So me making myself a huge target, there's a level of fear here. Then it's not just me. I have 4 other siblings along with my parents and people that I'm connected to that I love and care about. And I'm not saying that, people gonna be like, I got your family ransom. I'm just saying that there are things that for me to consider. And as being, and yes, we forget how old we are sometimes.
Listen.
And I have to remind myself that I'm 15 and that this may become overwhelming. And I don't want to lose myself in the
In the
process.
midst of it,
yeah.
I don't want to lose my love for the art in the process because I feel like that's going to be the most detrimental thing. I can't help nobody. And I've lost myself. Now what?
Okay. There's so much to unpack here. I'm just really interested in. Okay, so first you said that your poetry would be your line of accountability, basically your source of accountability for your activism work. So it's already tied to something bigger than just yourself. It's what you do. It's what you're passionate about. And then you brought up the fact that you are connected to so many other things. And I think that we always come to a crossroad, no matter what, where we have to decide, is this worth the risk?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and you can weigh that. I'm not in a position.
Right.
That's your decision.
That's your decision. You go crazy. I mean, if I'm helping wrestle, I ain't gonna hold you, But it is your decision to make at the end of the day because this is your life.
Right.
I don't want you to regret not taking the leap
Don't
when
miss
you
out
had
on
the
your moment.
chance,
Right.
because you were holding on to something that you were fearful of. Don't act in fear. Act in faith.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Especially
Because that's
since
exactly
you're
what I was about to
spiritual.
say.
Sayla's about to drop a word.
That's exactly what I was about to touch on because I think, as creatives, as change makers, as go-getters, we always have this tendencies like what ifs, no more what ifs at this rate. I think when I say grasp your moment, this is literally your moment to take hold of what all you have been working for, because this has been years in the making. And so I think you have to understand the process, understand what you're about to do, and then boom, make it happen. Either way, because I don't want fear to be your worst enemy. Zayla's right. You got to walk in faith for this one.
And I hate to cut off this great advice, and I wanted to reaffirm you, Jayla. You are amazing, and I cannot wait for not only me to see this work, because you didn't show me, but it's okay. But for the whole
It's pretty dope.
world
It's pretty dope.
to see your work. You're gonna
I'm excited too. I think it's going to be great.
Right.
That's enough for me in the hot seat. Who next?
I'll go ahead and
Who
go.
next?
I mean, I think, and I do not mean this in a romantic relationship, because I've been facing many of these obstacles of when it's time to walk away from someone, a very important person in my life. I mean, I don't have to say their name, but y'all can relate as we go. But a very person in my life, I had to make a decision to say, hey, I can no longer do this because it's no longer benefiting me and it's no longer benefiting them. And so I had to say, okay, hey, you know what? Let's not talk for a while. And then that started to go from a year to 2 years. And it's crazy to me to see how this grand impact of what that person has made on my life. And I'm sitting here saying, hey, where are you now? And it's like, hey, I did need some space. I wanted to walk away, but how do I get back? And then I find myself doing that with friendships. We talked about this in the previous podcast when we're saying hey, at this moment, I need to handle some things. And this is not meaning the friendship is over, the relationship is over. This is me just prioritizing myself for 1 second in my life. And so I think my problem is knowing when to walk away. And I know that I'm starting to be accountable of those actions in terms of relationships and friendships, because I cannot take any BS at this point in my life, because I feel like if I drag along too many chains, I feel like as if I'm being buried with them. And so that's where my problem is coming in. What do y'all think about that?
I would urge you, because this is the biggest thing that popped in my mind. Yes, there is what has happened, there is what could happen or what will happen, and there is what is happening.
Right.
I feel like you specifically live mainly in the what has happened and what could be happening or what will happen. I need you to focus on what is happening, right? Your relationship with that person or with those people might have been amazing in the past.
Right.
And if y'all make it through this hump, it might be amazing in the future. But if what is happening is damaging to you as a person, you have to let it go.
Yeah.
You have to let it go because you cannot even reach that what will happen if you are not in one piece. And it seems, and it's going to seem selfish. And you probably, like, internally, when I have to make decisions like that, I kind of beat myself up about it because I'm like, yo, the world does not revolve around me. But at some point, and you know this, you talk about it all the time. The work that you're doing is for so many more than you, so much more than you, similar to me. You know, we're doing this for our mothers. We're doing this for our siblings. You know, there are a lot of people that we are, you know, what am I trying to say? You see what I'm saying? Right? So meaning that we can't live too far in the future and too much in the past, and it hurts. It hurts so much when you have a deep connection, when you have history with a person and you know you love them. It's like it hurts so bad to just let it go, but you gotta look at what is happening. Like as of right now, this is damaging.
Right.
And if this continues to happen, because the thing about what could happen or what will happen is that it could either go a positive way or a negative way. If anything on the negative side outweighs the positive side, the answer is clear.
Right.
Going off of Jayla, I think in order to know when to walk away from damaging situations, you have to know which situations are damaging to you. Personally, I think people who, I don't want to say the word burden, but that's what I'm going to use for lack of better words, but who are a burden to you, people who, they aren't helping you grow, they aren't helping you release whatever you're going to release with poetry, they're not helping you grow, they're not helping you reach your goal that you want to reach, instead they're holding you back, instead you're on one track and they're making you veer and look at another track.
Right.
Making you lose focus of your goals and your track. And this not only goes with friendships, but relationships too. If they're not goal driven, if they don't have a goal too, where you're not picking up a project. You're not building up a person too, because we're still developing ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think situations like that are very damaging, which is situations that you need to move on that are happening in the now. So also with walking away.
Right, and I agree with that. Projects, funny.
Well,
but
on a specialty.
That's a different podcast. But anyways, that was really powerful. And I think that I am a strong and firm believer in everything happens for a reason. And I think that, yes, we can talk about the past, the present, the future. And like Jayla said, we need to focus on the present. But I think the biggest thing is, what do you learn from those damaging, from those... Oh, let me stop banging on the table. I'm sorry. But what do you learn from those so-called damaging relationships? What do you take away from there and grow from? Because yes, you can walk away from it and you can go on about your life. But if you don't learn anything from it, then what was the point?
What was it for?
Because everything is a learning experience in our lives.
And that's what I had to notice specifically with these friendships. I just had to say goodbye. You know, it like, okay, I get it. History, sure. What it could have been, sure. But I have to look at it saying, okay, this is not benefiting me. It's not. It's detrimental. It does not feel good. And so, yes, I'm going to walk away. And I know it sometimes feels selfish because I think all of us have to come face to face with that. But at this moment in time, I think what I'm actually gaining away from leaving these friendships is I'm actually saying, this is me. I'm going to get what I need, and I'm going to get what I want. And it's like no stopping. Like, I'm going to get my goals. I'm going to release this. I'm going to do the next project. And it's not, and to your point, it's not just for me. It's for this whole village that I got behind my back.
And see, the thing is, we are not abrupt people, right? Meaning that there were probably conversations held prior to the cutting off period.
Exactly.
That told you, look, I don't have time for these things anymore.
Right.
Or I am making a shift into my life where this is what I care about. Because these are my priorities. And if they cannot respect your hustle, your grind, your intention, and your village, they do not deserve to be in your space.
Because it's more like a tunnel vision. It's a tunnel vision per se, and I stand on that because what you actually gain after leaving relationships, after leaving friendships, no matter if it's with family, long-term friends, any of that. I'm saying here today, the confidence I gained,
the self-love,
and the recognition that I have for myself is beyond me, and I don't think it's just impacting me, it's impacting the people I surround myself with as well, because that radiates, it's contagious, and I think we all hold each other accountable in that spectrum and saying, hey, this is not good for you right now. I need you to reflect, so I think that's what's good about this right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But,
you in the hot seat?
You in the hot seat now?
Chill.
Okay,
I guess I'll be in the hot seat. So I kind of, lately I've been having trouble with balance in my life. And let me elaborate. So as y'all know, I told y'all, I have 2 deaths have happened in my life recently. And it's been a lot for my family. And I have so many responsibilities that I want to fully immerse myself in, and I am, and I want to fully be there, and I don't want to say that oh, I need time to just take a break for a second, because I have a lot going on and I have a lot of grieving that I want to go through, but I can't fully do that because I have so many responsibilities that need to get done. And it's how do I balance everything in my life? And I think that I find trouble in knowing when to not go so hard and give myself a break, and knowing when to just boom, 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 go, 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 go. Because I feel sometimes I put my self-worth on a productivity level. If I'm productive, then my self-worth is high.
Yeah.
But if I'm not productive, then I'm just a terrible person. I'm not doing anything in my life. And I think that my productivity values my self-worth, and that it measures how good I am. And I think that sometimes that can be a hindrance to my mental health. So kind of the balance aspect of my life,
First, I want to say I'm very sorry for your losses.
Oh, it's sorry.
Yeah. And second, I think in order for you to be able to be productive and to be able to work on your grind, you have to be in the right headspace. You have to be in the right mindset. So obviously you want to balance. You want to work. But also that can be very draining, especially when you have other things besides that work taking away that energy. And that energy, you're going to tire out. You're going to wear out. So I think it's better to, when you feel that you're wearing out and you're drying out, focus your time on your mental health. Take some time. It is totally okay to take a break. So social media cleanse. You can do many cleanses. That'll just rid you of all the negativity in your life and all the energy eating things that are in your life.
Because I think what they do not teach us about becoming successful, striving for Black excellence, is that it's okay to be human. Okay? We are not these immoral, these different creatures just traveling the, earth. We're actually human, and it's okay to address that. It's okay to take breaks. It's okay to feel sadness, because if we don't have those small moments in our life, we know we are no longer living, we are surviving.
Right.
And that's what we do not want to do. So I do want you to take a break when you can, when you can. I know our schedule is right.
And I think that to your point, it's yeah, and sometimes I told you, I feel I've kind of become numb, because I've had to the process that we're in, y'all, it's so just hard, and it's when you go stuff like that, it's but we gotta work. So it's I kind of think that I've become numb to the feelings that I need to process in order to be fully successful. You get what I'm saying? So it's just to the back burner of my brain. It's just oh well, I'll just get through it, and then it's But no, you need to address that. Like, I feel like I'm kind of like not wanting to address it because I feel like it'll make me not be productive. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if I address these feelings, then I'm gonna not be as productive as I could be. So therefore, I'm gonna put it to the back burner of my brain and just forget about it.
I get that, and we had a lot of static when it comes to grieving and productivity,
Right.
but because of recent events, I understand the need to take a break, and honestly, you will get a break whether you want to or not because your body will tell you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that before you let your body let you know it's enough, you already know that. You already know. So give yourself the chance to breathe. Give your chance the self to grieve. It's okay.
Right.
And then once that is over, once that is done, we have to collect ourselves and get through the rest of this day. But then, like, it's not like an instant. I'm not asking you to take 5 minutes, breathe, cry, and then get over it. Like, no, it's not like that. But grieving is a process, and I understand that. But once again, I understand the productivity part too, and the demand of productivity.
Right. So,
what I do, I have a nice little cry session for a while, and I talk to somebody. So I know that I'm not just talking to myself, literally letting these negative thoughts keep penetrating my mind. No, I talk to somebody, let my feelings be heard, so that it's off of me. This weight is off of me. And then they give me advice to fill me with goodness and happiness and joy, so that I can supplement me for the next time that I feel like I'm weighed down.
Right.
So I'm just saying, take your breaks. They are necessary. And the demand of the productivity that you're talking about, it's going to be there. But work will always need to get done. But take your time in the process.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
That's all I had to say.
Personally, if that's all that needs to be said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, personally for me, I'm having issues with decision making, not only with parents, and I know maybe I am the only teen, but with parental issues, but also with friendships, not only knowing when to cut somebody off, but also knowing which road is the right road academically, because I hate to admit it, but sometimes I do have FOMO. Like, I don't want to miss out on things, and I want to be included because I've been in places where I haven't been included, and it felt terrible. So I want to be included, but I also know I should be in tutoring right now. I should be focusing on the work. I should be working and doing what I promised my parents I would do. So do you guys have any advice on that?
I think what I'm hearing is a necessity of balance. So to Jonah's point,
Hold on, before we even get there though.
what you thinking?
So now, are you clear on what you want from life?
That's what I was about
That's
to go into.
that's the thing.
That is crazy, Jayla.
Because
I was just about to ask for that.
I dealt with this. The lack of motivation, right? Laziness will always be there. What stops you from feeding into it? That's the thing so many people struggle with. Like, I got ideas. I know I can do it. It's just like this force. It's like,
Bro, going off of that, I did not mean to call you bro. I'm so sorry. But going off of that point, all of my life, I've known, you can be in basketball, cheer, step, golf. I've been in so many things that it's like pulling me that, and even for my career path, I have like many options. So I don't know personally. I don't know
one concise decision. And I think if you want to practice with that, you need to start with your goals.
Yeah.
You don't have to, because you know me, I know how many kids I'm having, what time I'm having them at, what hospital, and what state. I have that all
planned out. Every month of the year.
Every month of the year.
That's planned out.
No, man.
I have everything, but me and Daya know what summer homes, what style.
No, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What style furnishing we want.
I thought she was talking about the kids.
It's the
Bye.
it starts with having a clear definition of what makes you happiest.
Yeah.
Where are you literally the happiest? And then after that is a direct correlation to what you want in life and where you need to be to get that. Once you have that all set up, then it's not a matter of, I don't feel like it. You're always going to have times where you don't feel like it. But all you need to do is be reminded of where you're happiest and how you need to get there.
And also, to your point, Jayla she brought up a really, really good point. your goals. Because if you have a goal, your decision making will cater to those goals. So then you will know what decisions to make to achieve those goals. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a goal that you want to achieve, the decisions that you should be making should be catering towards achieving that goal. So say for instance, you want to be cheer captain. You would need to be going to you would need to be making decisions that be practicing cheer at home, going to all the cheer rehearsals, going to cheer
110%,
exercises, going
right.
to tumbling practice rather than going out with your friends, because you know that you want to be cheer captain. So therefore you have to make sacrifices to be cheer captain. You know.
But in order for that to work, you have to be raw and real about your goals and honest. And see, there's a lot of shaming. I feel like there's a lot of shaming when it comes to goals specifically. Like you literally don't have to be like, oh, I want to be a high-ranked attorney and start nonprofits and be the president. And
that was a lot.
like, whoa, like if you are literally, I just want to be happy. If I could afford a ranch in Douglasville and live there with my husband and have kids and have a family, I would be fine.
That does sound like a fairy tale.
Actually,
Nice for who?
Right. Jonah is like, I want a life of luxury.
A luxury.
So everything he's doing is to hustle because he's like, I want wealth. It is completely fine if that is not what you want. I just need you to be completely honest about what you want from life. And if you don't know, it's fine. But you're going to have to sit in yourself and really reflect because you need to know
You just
that.
said something that's very key. It's okay if you do not know.
It is
right
so
now.
okay.
It is so okay.
Oh my God.
So okay.
It is so okay.
I'd rather you figure out what you are happy with right now to try to understand yourself more than rather have your whole life set right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we're so young, y'all. We're really, really young.
If the reason why you go hang out with your friends versus, going to bio tutoring is because no, not to expose
shade,
anybody.
no tea.
But if the reason why this disconnect is happening is because you have more fun with your friends. It's easier with your friends. It's less
More
work.
pleasurable.
That means that you enjoy comfortability, right? What do we need to do to get Sinai to a life of comfortability?
Make yourself
what needs to happen
uncomfortable.
if that's where you are happiest the most?
Right.
Right.
Oh.
And I think, as somebody that doesn't necessarily know what they want for their future, but the pressures of it are constantly there, right? They're true in saying that you don't need to know what you want per se, but I would prefer that you set yourself up on a path that you can have options for when you do figure it out.
Yes.
So, okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
That was a word,
I
though.
don't know what I want right now, but I know for doggone sure I need to be, if with what I have right now, I need to make the best of it. Because then my options aren't limited. Because if I decide I want to be a lawyer, no, let me see. If I decide I wanted to go to Yale right now, 17 years old, I'm going to do it. You had 3 years of high school on your GPA record. Did you ever consider that?
No, man.
No, man.
No, ma'am.
Literally.
You see what I'm saying? And you're early enough that you can do that.
Right.
Yes.
Ninth
Save
grade year
yourself
is so
now.
important.
People
It sets you
literally
up.
It sets
take
you
their
up.
youth for
foundation.
granted. My dad had to explain this to me. He was like, when you hit college, everybody want to write a book. Everybody want to be an artist. Everybody wants to do. He's like, the market is so saturated but by us being young and being exceptions to the vast majority of people who are in our age range, that gives us an opportunity to get it while the getting is good.
Yeah.
So by the time I'm an adult and I'm in college, I'm on my third book.
Okay.
As you
Get
should.
at me.
Right.
That's
Our
and
fourth
that's
season.
fourth season, right? So that's. And people don't realize, and it kind of goes back to our podcast when we talked about, relationships versus grind. If you say that you want a life of happiness and comfortability, we cannot negate the fact that there are certain things that are needed to create that life. And if you do not do the work that is needed to be done to get there, that's not
It's all
really what you
taken
value.
away.
Right.
It's not.
And although, and I will say this because I used to not know what I wanted either, but then I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, when you're surrounded by people that know what they want to do and you're the only person who doesn't, it's like oh my God, I'm not doing enough.
Shaking.
Because you know, like some people,
Right now.
We know what we want to do. Most of us in this group know what we want to do, and it's like you constantly hearing like, oh, she has a poetry, she has a film, she has a poetry album. I got a photo shoot, blah blah blah. It's like, what am I not doing? That's like I want to do that.
Speaking what it was in my mind.
Right, like the pressure. You're like, I'm not doing enough, and it's like, Sanai, you have to realize that we're older than you. Our development stage is a little bit farther than you, and that's okay. You can learn from us, and that's why we're here for you. We're here to guide you. You're not on your own.
The goal is to get you ahead.
Right.
Always.
Oh wow, scary.
So sister, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I would hate to cut my own advice short because, like, thank you guys, but
Miss Ma'am,
Girl, the hot seat is yours.
I've been really trying to think of something all day. I'm not. At least this podcast. I have a lot of struggles, but I'm not really quite ready to contend with them.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
Wait,
and I'm so glad that you accept. Like, that's fine.
what does not contending with them?
I mean, I'm not ready to give them up.
Okay.
I'm not ready to give them up. I'll give you guys an example. I shared this with you guys earlier. I don't trust males in general.
Yeah.
I don't, and that's because of a history and a pattern of males literally telling me what their position in my life is. And them still not fulfilling the role.
Okay. Let's get into it.
I don't understand how you can sign up to be my father, to be my brother, to be my teacher, and not fulfill the role you qualified yourself to do. It doesn't make sense to me. But I know it's a process that I need to go through. So I'm not sure. But if you guys have anything to say, go crazy. But I'm not sure how helpful.
First of all, can I say I am so glad that you acknowledge you are not at a point where you are ready to deal with it. That is some emotional maturity.
That is maturity
that many adults lack. I stay taking shots at adults.
You do, low key, but don't
be
all.
They be a little hurt now.
They be in denial, babes.
They got some stuff going on now.
Oof. That's a whole nother
podcast. Tune in for that.
But no, honestly, that's a level of emotional maturity that's just it's mind blowing. You never cease to amaze me. And I want you to know that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like you literally are not obligated to deal with that yet.
Right.
But I don't want to, zoom too much into it because there is some pain attached to it. But do you feel that at some point, if not dealing with it, it would create harms for you?
It already has.
Oh, okay.
So it already has.
Going with
because that distrust is seeping into other areas.
Yeah, and
because
I shared this.
The patterns are there.
Right, and I shared this before with you. We can't control anyone, specifically because male figures play a key role in a woman's life. And it has significant impacts from how you maneuver from relationship to relationship to friendship to your own self, to the relationship you have with yourself. I think that's what needs to be done here. And that will require some self-reflection within yourself. And I'm glad you're taking accountability to say, hey, I'm not ready. Because I'm glad you're not ready, actually, because this is giving you more time to get to know yourself. It's giving you more time to understand this process. Because I honestly, because you're a dear friend of mine, I want you to honestly find solvency with this. Because I do not want to see this impact your future kids or your future husband or anybody else. I want there to be a union with this feeling that you have. And
to bounce off of Dea, I agree 100%. Solvency is definitely needed, but I don't even want to get into that until you're ready.
Until you're ready.
Until
trust
you're
the
ready.
Process.
So I think that we should
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
How are you measuring your readiness. If it's a gut feeling, that's fine. If it's just like, I know that I'm too emotionally wounded right now to open up about that stuff and find solvency without just peeling back a bunch of layers and then flipping it back down.
I guess firstly making it a priority. I have too
Okay.
much on my plate.
Oh,
I'm not dealing
That
with
part.
Oh God.
issues right now because I got too much stuff to focus on. I'm sorry if that may sound.
No, she
Girl,
she
it's
right.
valid.
It's valid, all
She
right.
valid.
I don't.
She valid.
I put my issues to the side till I have time for them.
Yeah.
Which may not be healthy, which it just depends, whatever. But maybe once I make it a priority to try and actually look at the problem that's in front of me
Yeah.
and how it's affecting me
Mm.
and how important it is where it's affecting me,
Right.
and actually take into consideration what that means for me and what that means for my future. I don't think I'll be ready to really face something.
And that's
That's understandable.
that's okay.
And we I think we all accept that, honestly.
And I think today, if there's nothing else to be said, something else, I think, sorry.
Don't make
Yeah,
it
but,
It's the double checking for me.
Are we sure about this?
Guys, no, but actually that's very understandable. I think I understand everybody's issue and everybody's problem that they brought to today's table, and I can relate to every single aspect of it. And so not only thank you for giving that person advice, but also thank you for giving me advice.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like this is very productive.
Right.
I'm glad we had this conversation.
Literally, it was so productive. And
I feel like we learned something from each other each and every time.
Right.
we
As
talk.
we do every day.
Right, and I think that it's like having this space to talk to intellectuals and people that have actually been through stuff and can actually give you good feedback. It's like so
We have
beneficial.
Black excellence right
Listeners.
Literally, because like it's so impactful.
It is. It's
But
beautiful.
that is the life of a scholar, something that we hope to, portray and encourage.
This is the life of the scholar. Social. Okay. You gotta be, let's be specific here.
Yes, but y'all know today was great, just like every other day. And y'all make sure y'all tune in next week, because one thing about us,
We gonna talk about it.
that was really cute. I loved it.
Yo, I was
Yeah, me too.